Shalom, everyone. Some of you who have been following me for a while may have noticed I haven't been doing as much short-form studies as I usually do. Part of the reason is because of them. I got 3 of these things under 3 years old. I barely have time to brush my teeth. Actually, that reminds me, I didn't brush my teeth today. See, that's what I'm talking about. I know. I get it. But that's not the main reason I haven't been doing short studies. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm still doing studies. Those of you looking for community and deeper Bible studies, line by line, I have 2 live stream studies. I do at Shabbat, which is Saturday, 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, and Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on TikTok, and then they're restreamed on my YouTube. And I have 3 line by line studies going on YouTube right now that are exclusively over on YouTube. So if you're looking for community, like-minded folks, if you want to study the Bible line by line, learn context, come join me for those, because I have been doing those faithfully, and Yah willing, I'll keep doing it as long as possible. But the main reason I haven't been doing short-form videos as often is because of comments like this, you guys. And I gotta say, I'm just so over it. The Bible tells us, Old and New Testament, over and over and over again, not to, argue about matters of opinion, not to create dissension and division, and it tells us not to even argue about the law. Like, if you are keeping the law to the best of your ability, that's between you and the Most High. If you're not, or if you're saying you're keeping the law and blatantly going against it, that's when we need to step in and say something. We are commanded to step in and say something then. But if somebody is trying to keep the commandments of the Most High, and they're doing it to the very best of their ability, with their level of understanding, we are not to grieve those people. And that's all that some people want to do online anymore. All they want to do is grieve somebody because your walk doesn't look exactly like my walk. And you know what? I'm over it. Quite frankly, I'm not going to argue about stuff like that anymore. I know years ago when people first started following me, I was on that train. I did that kind of stuff too. But now, through my walk and continuing to grow and be more close to the Most High and walk more like the footsteps of our Messiah, Yeshua, I've come to the realization that we're just not supposed to attack each other over stuff like this. If someone's trying to keep the commandments, praise Yah. Praise Yah. But we're not supposed to attack them for trying to keep the commandments, and that's what a lot of people are doing. The particular comment I'm addressing in this video is about why we shouldn't keep the feast days. People want to argue tooth and nail we shouldn't keep God's commandments, which is ironic because every denomination does that, right? And it doesn't matter. Mainstream Christians argue tooth and nail, make excuses why we don't need to keep the Most High's commandments. Even Jews, they want to make excuses why people don't need to keep the Most High's commandments. Oh, you're not of the right bloodline. Sorry, you can't keep his commandments. And these skin color doctrines, the serpent seed and the Hebrew Israelite doctrines of the world. Oh, well, you can't keep the commandments because, you're the wrong skin color. And it's just so ridiculous and unscriptural. I'm over all of it. You guys want to believe what you want to believe? Fine. If you think skin color has anything to do with it, I don't see it in the Bible, and I've gone over it dozens of times with dozens of scriptures. But you can believe whatever you want to believe, but stop grieving people that are trying to keep the commandments of the Most High. If you want to know why we can still keep the feast days and should, I did a 2-hour study on this very thing right here. Go to my YouTube. Should we keep the feast days? I go over all the arguments people give and why these scripturally don't hold water at all. So again, this is on my YouTube if you want to go check it out. If you want to keep the commandments of the Most High, praise the Most High that He woke you up to do that. I don't care what your skin color is. I don't care what your bloodline is. If you want help to learn how to do that, hit me up. I'll help you any way I can. I don't care what you look like. I don't care where you're from. I will show you all the scripture that I can show you, and I will give you as few opinions as possible and tell you exactly what you want to know, because none of this should be based on our opinion, right? Our convictions can be based on our opinions, but that's not law, right? My convictions are not law. So you need to realize the same about yours and stop putting everybody to your standard of what you think it should be. And if you're making excuses why you shouldn't keep the commandments of the Most High, then Quite frankly, I don't care what your title is. I don't care if you call yourself Torah observant or whatever other denomination of Christianity or Judaism or Islam. If you're making excuses why you shouldn't keep commandments that you can keep, either in spirit or in truth or in both, then you're not really following what Scripture has to say. We need to do our very best to keep these commandments. And the Most High never, ever, ever punished anyone for doing their very best to keep his commandments when and how he asked them to. I've brought this up to people before and they've been like, well, look at Job. Job wasn't punished because he kept the commandments of the Most High. He was attacked because he kept the commandments of the Most High, which is ironically what happens to everybody else in Scripture who is doing their very best to keep the Most High's commandments and to warn the people around them who aren't doing it. They get attacked by the world. The prophets got attacked. Yeshua got attacked. The disciples got attacked. And Yeshua said it would happen. When you start actually keeping the commandments of the Most High, your own house will turn against you and attack you. So there's a difference between being punished for keeping the commandments, which is never a thing in Scripture, and being attacked because you keep the commandments in Scripture. Big difference that you really should understand. There is no scriptural or logical argument why we shouldn't keep the parts of the Torah that we are able to keep, especially the feast days. And again, I go over that in my 2-hour-long video. If you have any inclination that we shouldn't be doing this, go check that out. Examine it critically. Think about it. All of the people in the Exodus were keeping the Passover without a temple, without a priest, in an unclean land. And people are like, well, the Most High put his name in Jerusalem. Nuh-uh. Not after 70 AD. He destroyed the place where he put his name, and he never called for them to do what they're doing over there today. And what do you think New Jerusalem's gonna, think about it. There's a New Jerusalem that comes down out of the sky, right? Well, what happens to the old one? And it's because they are not keeping his commandments. He's not going to send fire and brimstone and judgment and curses on people because they keep his commandments and because they do their very best to honor them how they can in the situation they're in. He sends all that stuff, the judgment on the world in Revelation, all of the punishments on his people and the other nations. It's always, always, always because they make excuses not to obey him. It's not because they're doing their very best. So if you guys want to make excuses why you shouldn't keep the commandments, go for it. You can be just like every other denomination that's ever existed and called themselves believers. Oh, no, we don't get to keep the Sabbath. Here's our excuse. Oh, no, we don't got to keep the dietary laws. Here's our excuse. Oh, no, we don't have to do this or that or that or that. Oh, no, wrong bloodline or wrong skin color, blah, 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 blah. Excuse. If you want to be like them, go for it. But I don't see it working out very well, especially considering where we're at in history. Buckle up. You're watching prophecy unfold before your very eyes. And you might not be aware of it. And you might be like, oh, well, every generation has said this. Well, sorry to burst your bubble there. It might not look like what you thought it was going to look like. But boy, oh boy, it is happening for those who have eyes to see and a heart that wants to walk after the Most High and understand him and seek his ways and seek out his prophecies and understanding and wisdom. It's happening. Isaiah 65, I was ready to be sought by those who did not ask for me. I was ready to be found by those who did not seek me. I said, here I am, to a nation not called by my name. Welcome to today. And in Hosea, Israel shall be like the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured or numbered. And in the place where it was said to them, you are not my people, it shall be said to them, children of the living Elohim. And the children of Judah and the children of Israel shall be gathered together and shall appoint for themselves one head. Well, that head's Yeshua, and he's gathering the people together right now. And I understand that it's not because of my righteousness that I'm being called. However, that doesn't negate the fact that you should walk in righteousness to the best of your ability. And that means keeping the commandments spiritually and physically that are in your power to keep. Deuteronomy chapter 9. Do not say in your heart after the Most High has thrust them out before you, it is because of my righteousness that the Most High has brought me into possession of the land. Whereas it is because of the wickedness of these nations that the Most High is driving them out before you, not because of your righteousness or the uprightness of your heart. We're not called because we deserve it. I don't deserve it. But if he calls you, you should listen to him and do what he asked you to do.